Everyone. I hope you are doing well. So let's have a quick market recap on yesterday's data. Okay, so first things, the interest rate decision for Switzerland for the month of June. So previous data is negative 0.75%, and the actual was still unchanged at negative 0.75%. And release time yesterday, 3:30 p.m. And after the release of the interest rate decision for Switzerland, in particular, the dollar against the Swiss franc went up for 50 pips after the release. And obviously, the dollar benefited from the data of the Swissy. But however, after the release of the interest rate decision, there's actually a statement for the Swiss National Bank, and they've mentioned that they are maintaining the current monetary policy for the Switzerland, and they're ensuring that the price is stable and the ongoing support of the Swiss economy to its recovery from the coronavirus pandemic. So, in my opinion, this one is a positive tone, but actually did not benefited the Swiss franc in particular. Followed by the CPI or the inflation rate for euro, month-on-month basis for the month of May. So previous data was 0.6% and forecasted at 0.3%. And release time yesterday, 5 p.m. And for a month-on-month basis, inflation rate for euro still unchanged at 0.3%. Followed by the year-on-year basis as well for inflation rate for Eurozone. So previous data is 1.6% and forecasted at 2%. And for the year-on-year basis, still unchanged at 2%. So after the inflation rate data for Eurozone, as you can see here during 30 minutes time frame last night, there's actually no significant move, and the price remains at the around the 1.1940. So it's actually a choppy range after the release. But overall, still the post interest rate decision by the dollar is still affected by the euro dollar. So as you can see here, the price still goes down around the 1.1920 level last night. And also we have the weekly initial jobless claims for US. So previous data is 375,000 and forecasted at 359. And release time last night, 8:30 p.m. And for the weekly initial jobless claims, it went down for 412,000. So much lower than the forecasted and lower than the previous data. We also have the Fed Manufacturing Index for Philadelphia. So previous data is 31.5 and forecasted at 31. And the actual data is slightly lower than the forecasted, around the 30.7. So even though the weekly initial jobless claims unexpectedly dropped to 412K, but as you can see here, the dollar index in particular did not slip on the downside, but rather the price still remained on the upside. So during the Asian session, the current price of the dollar index is around the 91.79. But as you can see here, to be specific, the price of the dollar index slipped slightly during the 30 minutes time frame, right after the release of the weekly initial jobless claims. So economic data today, during the Asian session, we have interest rate decision for Japan for the month of June. So previous data is negative 0.10% and forecasted at negative 0.10%. And release time earlier 11 a.m. But after the release, we did not see the actual data yet. But we have to wait for like 20 to 30 minutes before the release of before they release the actual data. But for the month of June, the actual data is still unchanged at negative 0.10%. So if I did not put the chart right here, but to be specific on the dollar yen, if you will check later on, there's actually no significant effect right after the release. And for the European session, we have to focus on the retail sales for UK month on month and year on year basis for the month of May. And we also have German PPI, or Producers Price Index, month-on-month basis for the month of May. So European session, majority of our data is focusing on the European session. So we can expect that it will be very volatile, probably once the data will be released. But for the US session, there's nothing much, so less noise later on from the market. So key product for today is the GBP against the dollar. Currently, during the Asian session, the price is around the 1.3930 level. But however, we have a data for the GBP later. So if the results did not beat the expectation, so it may cause the pound to slip on the downside, and it may cause pressure once again. So possible support is 1.3876 and 1.3829, and resistance 1.3988 and 1.4056 respectively. So again, European session data, we have the retail sales year on year and month on month basis for UK for the month of May, and producers price index for Germany for the month of May as well. So both data will be released later at 2 p.m. All right, so that's all for our daily briefing today. Thank you, everyone. Please stay safe and have a great day.